So the two different things that I teach is the waking up part, which I've just been explaining to you, and then I also speak about settling down the person. I speak about settling down the person because if the person is really chaotic and the person is really suffering, it's very hard to speak about non-duality. So when you're in lots of like emotional and physical pain and mental pain, then you tend to be very contracted to the body. And then that becomes very hard to talk about non-duality. That doesn't mean that you've lost connection with Source, though, because you could be in lots of emotional, physical, and mental pain even, and there can be the disconnection from that person and this freedom to what you are. So it's not like that is the way it is, but it tends to be, it's more complex. I also feel like it's a little bit, I feel a little bit of a duty to address the person to an extent, because non-duality is so extreme, and although it's true in, you can't put it in words, but what it's pointing to is true and beautiful, it can be really severely misinterpreted for the person. So I feel like speaking about the person and relaxing the person kind of like catches those people in the net that are misinterpreting non-duality and helps them become more balanced with what they're feeling. Because, you know, if you take some of these ideas on a personal level, that you are nobody, that there is nothing, that nobody exists, and you're taking that on personally, then that can be maybe a little bit dangerous for the person, or a little bit like create more problems for the person. Although I don't know that, because that's just my perspective on it. Because really, like, if you're hearing non-duality from a teacher that's like energetically knows non-duality, not mentally knows non-duality, then that's really a gift. So I don't know for sure. And I say really why that's a gift, because you can like resonate with their energy when listening to non-duality. I'm sure many of you know that, and that can be really beautiful, and it really doesn't matter what they're saying. But it's just when they leave the room and then they're like, I am nobody, I can kill you because I'm nobody, then, you know, can become a bit problematic. So you can find stuff on my reference page on my website as to things I recommend to help settle down the person. But even in recommending that, I'm not saying that there is somebody there that's doing that. Like, that will either happen or not, the person will become more settled. But I'm not saying there is a person there. Like, who is that? Who are you right now? Who let the dogs out? Who is looking? Like, there is looking happening. There is hearing happening. There is experiencing happening, but it's not for anyone. There is a person that comes up with thoughts, and there's a body that has habits and conditions and reacts and has emotions and feelings and sensations. But that's not you. That's an experience happening in you. Like, something prior to that is experiencing it. So something knows that, it's peering in the film. Something is seeing that. That person isn't experiencing. We always think that person is alive and experiencing, but how can it be experiencing if it can be seen? If it can be seen, that means it's part of the experience. You can see how there's an energy identifying with part of the experience. And it's so crazy, the ideas that we think we are, like, I am tall. Yes, that's maybe a description of the body, but that's not who you are. Like, to believe that's who you are, then you become in a box. I am good. That might be a description of the body, which is debatable, because we like, what is good and bad if we get really existential about it. But even that idea, like, I am good, it's like you're putting a chain on yourself. Like, all the time you have to be presenting to people that you're good. I am good. Look how good I am. Hello everybody, I'm good. Whereas this is just something that happens to the body. It's either good or bad. Some bodies have more tendency to being cooperative and to fitting in. That doesn't necessarily mean goodness, though, because we don't really know what that is. It's just something that we've defined as humans, and we all collectively agree on it. I'm sure that the bees and the ants and the insects do not think that we're good. When they're when when we're buying fair trade and we think we're all good, I'm sure that the insects were wishing that we did a lot less trade and destroyed their home a lot less. So it's really debatable. So you might think that you're good for buying fair trade, but that's from whose perspective? From the perspective of not enslaving people to work. So it's in comparison to, if you don't buy fair trade, then it means that most of your stuff comes from slavery, modern day slavery, which I'm not criticizing, because all of us do that are in the West. I mean, just if you have a phone, I assume that it's made in Asia for unfair prices. Yeah, we all know this. So I'm sorry that I do that, but that happens through me. And I feel compassion and empathy for people out there that are not being paid fairly for their work. That's really sad that that happens. And I'm sorry that I participate in it. Yes. Yes, okay, we got off track there. Lisa went into a sorry monologue. So that's part of my personality structure, to do that. And you could psychoanalyze that, and that's because of this, because of that, because the mother did this, and the mother did that, and the father didn't do this, and the father did that. So that's part of the Lisa structure, but that's not who's speaking now. That's not who's experiencing now. That is an experience. And it's all about that detachment from the person, because when you believe you are that person, you'll never be free, because you'll always be looking for freedom in a thing, in what you are, in what you can become, in what you do. And in the end, like, what you do isn't your actions anyway, because you never chose to have your thoughts and feelings and ideas and conditions and the life and the interaction. So whatever you do is dependent on your karma, even though it comes with the idea that I did it. That total illusion. Who did it? Who is acting now? Like, who is thinking now? Who does all of that? Who let the dogs out? Who? Look at this as well. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. So that is that. Who is it? Who did that? Who got distracted? Your idea is me. I'm sitting here. I'm looking. I'm listening to Lisa because I chose to, and I like her. That is simply the body has these responses. But these responses in the body are way deeper than you know. They need some form of conscious thinking to be able to do these complex actions. But that conscious thinking that says, I like Lisa, or I can do this, or I'm going to sit here, affects the body, but it's not actually an independent doer. It's a happening. It's not actually somebody. It has an effect. It's reprogramming the unconscious, but it's not a person. It's not a person. So by you going, okay, Lisa is on at 6 p.m. French time, I'm going to listen to it, then there is a programming into the body from that thought. But that thought that comes up is also part of the body, but it's part of the conscious mind rather than the unconscious mind. So it's like this circular pattern that's happening between the conscious mind and unconscious mind. So the conscious mind puts in information, it goes into the unconscious, and then action comes out. And I think that they say like something like 90% of our thoughts are in our way, and our actions is unconscious. That's crazy, but I don't know about these numbers. I forget these things.